We're always on the lookout for some great games, and we just got a bunch of them courtesy of the most recent State of Play. But what about a few great ideas that weren't featured at the event? There are quite a few titles that are worthy of attention, standing out with unique value propositions and creative flourishes that deserve a spotlight. Well, that's exactly what we're setting out to do. Here are a few recently announced titles that are sure to make 2026 and the next few years all the more exciting with their presence. So let's get started. Sons of Sparta. This one was quite a pleasant surprise, being made available right after its reveal at State of Play. If you love hard-hitting action, big set-piece battles, and a setting that goes all in on spectacle and emotion, well, this one's an absolute no-brainer. It's a 2D platformer that rewinds the clock, diving into a protagonist's past as he fights alongside his brother and begins carving out his place on the battlefield. It leans heavily into tight platforming challenges, while its spear and shield combat proves surprisingly addictive, rewarding precision, smart parries, and well-timed evasions. Project Windless. If you liked the Bird That Drinks Tears series of novels, well, this is a game that's going to be a treat for you. It's an open-world RPG set in the same universe as the books, placing you in the shoes, well, metaphorically of course, of a giant humanoid bird who is armed with a pretty cool pair of dual blades and out on a mission that has you taking on several enemies who are quite skilled at coming at you from all directions based on what we've seen in the trailer. This is a game that we're eager to play thanks to its focused single-player experience. Castlevania: Belmont's Curse. It's always great to join one of the Belmonts on a monster hunting adventure, and this one's setting in Paris has us fascinated by its gothic vibe and buttery smooth combat animations. Of course, the vampire killer is making its return to your side along with new weapon types that let you take the fight to whatever monstrosities the game throws at you. While details about the story are a tad scarce at this time, we are sure that Konami and the Dead Cells team are up to the task of making it worthy of a long-standing franchise. Gothic Remake. This is another remake that we're itching to get our hands on, considering just how much work is going into making it a game that stays true to the classic RPG while modernizing it to make it appealing to a new generation of players. With the most recent video and a series of videos about its development showcasing how the team has crafted its NPC character models from the ground up, this one's shaping up to be a very fine addition to a slew of remakes of classic titles. Even better is the fact that it's currently scheduled for a 2026 release. Samson. This one's quite unique in that it features a man in a leather jacket literally taking on the world in order to pay off his debts and save his family. And that's easier said than done, however, as the city of Tindleston is not an ideal place where one can earn their fair share without a little bit of violence involved. Miss a day's payment and you're even deeper in the debt trap with both the law and the lawless out to get you. This action brawler is going to keep the pressure on you, but of course gives you everything you need to come out on top. Just don't expect it to give you cash or mercy. Aphelion. While we've seen our fair share of sci-fi adventures where humanity needs to move out from the Earth thanks to a hostile living condition, we're still excited for Aphelion as it does things a little differently. You see, it focuses on two explorers stranded on a potentially new home for their fellow humans, their ship having crashed and one of them being injured in the process. With two protagonists with their own abilities and skills and a story that explores the burden of duty in a dire situation, this one could pull at your heartstrings more than you'd like to admit. John Wick. It's always going to be great to see Keanu Reeves play another video game badass after his work as Johnny Silverhand. And John Wick's excellent take on the character's signature gun-fu style is looking very promising in the reveal trailer at the State of Play February 2026. Saber Interactive looks like it's staying true to the character, while bringing all of the action and chaos that seems to chase him around to the table in a title we're excited to play, although that could take a while. Knight's Path. When life gives you lemons, you pick up a sword and wander the land in search of redemption. At least, that's what Arlik, the protagonist of this action RPG set in ancient Rome, sets out to do in order to rebuild his life as a noble. With combat that's looking like you're going to earn your reputation as a swordsman without comparison, this one is going to have us spending a lot of time with mechanics that are designed to make each swing or slash of the blade count. Add in an immersive world and a potentially memorable cast of characters and you have yourself a winner. Kena: Scars of Cosmora. Kena is now older, wiser, and more determined to bring her unique blend of empathy and compassion to Cosmora, a brand new location that's opened its doors to her. She's more confident in her role as a guide and is determined to help the living as well as the dead as she goes about her duties. And that's good news for us, as it gives us more opportunities to experience a story that hopefully retains the wit and charm of Bridge of Spirits with a combat system that seems fast, fluid, and most importantly, fun. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. We're never going to say no to any opportunity to play more Metal Gear Solid, and the chance to replay MGS4 on a modern console without having to boot up our admittedly ancient PS3 is always a reason to celebrate. And with Peace Walker retaining its online play components, this is a title that we're eager to get our hands on when August 2026 finally comes around. It's time to round up your friends and take on a Metal Gear title that was built around cooperative play in the second addition to the Master Collection series from Konami. Greedfall 2: The Dying World 1.0. The prequel to Greedfall has been in early access for a while now, but it's finally ready to face the world this March. We're stoked to return to Tree Freddy, a place where your choices carry weight, and there's always a bit of danger for those adventurers who care to go looking for it. If this new title is anything like its predecessor, this one could have us spending more than a few hours finding out that our actions have consequences, and ones that we didn't expect more often than not. Zero Parades for Dead Spies. The spiritual successor to Disco Elysium is definitely up there with the more interesting concepts that we've seen in recent years. You play as a former secret agent who harbors dark secrets and is now working as a PI after being forced out of the agency in disgrace. The story is about rebuilding burned bridges as much as it is a mystery where you need to think carefully about your actions while also paying attention to your crumbling mental state. That's a lot to take in, but it's going to be worth it from everything that we've seen about this one. Road to Vostok. Coming to early access in April 2026, this post-apocalyptic survival title takes you to Vostok, a harsh place in which even a silly error could mean the end of your adventure, with permadeath being a constant threat that hovers over you as you make your way through the story. With a dynamic world that features a comprehensive weather system, multiple hostile factions all determined to give your character a premature death, and of course a ton of loot to be gathered, Road to Vostok has us quite enthusiastic for all of it. Ikuma, the Frozen Compass. Any adventure where you're accompanied by an NPC is one that's worth it in our book, and this one definitely caught our eye with its unique visuals and art style. You play as Sam, a boy who finds himself alone and stranded on an island in the Arctic with his loyal furry friend Ellie at his side. Together they must find a way home, braving all of the challenges in their way in a coming-of-age story that forces Sam to confront his past in order to ensure that he has a future. The Trilogy Remake. It was a welcome surprise to see the announcement land at the latest state of play, especially with a full remake project on the table for players. We're eager to see how the updated versions modernize the classic gameplay loops, sharpen the pacing, and refine the combat feel while keeping the general flow and feel intact. Either way, we'll be jumping in the moment that it's playable, though it sounds like it may be a while, with the development still in the early stages. And that's a wrap on our most anticipated titles for the rest of the year, and perhaps a few that are going into 2027 beyond. Of course, you can be sure that you're going to hear from us the moment new information on any one of them becomes available.
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at Gaming Bolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.